Alright, so we're gonna do some GameCube here. Gonna test some power boards. So there's 4 main power boards inside these. The GameCube. So I'm finally getting back to playing around with some GameCube stuff. By far the most parts ever sold, most hours I put in over time, over the years. Most have had over maybe 1,300 over the years. So 4 main power boards. This is the most common. And with that comes the most ones with the problem. So lots of times, this board can be the problem. And what it'll do is it'll cause no sound or no video, or both. Most likely it's the motherboard usually. But usually what happens is the LED light on the front panel doesn't come on, and just the fan spins. That means it might be this. So you would always want to see if you can swap that first, if you can. So the 4 main ones. So this is most common, most ones with issues. This is a second common. This one also has issues. They all do. It's just all electronic. This is the preferred one. This one here. Not as common. I have 4 of them actually. I'm going to retest these right now. And then this one is one I don't see that often. This kind. These are TDKs here. This is TDK. This is marked as Mitsumi or something. Begins with an M. These ones are GX something something. And these ones here are ADHS. So we're just going to do a quick test. Pretty easy stuff. So let's see if we can... Got to get some power and video a second here. My TV's on the side. It's just easier than trying to keep putting it back and forth. It's kind of a pain that way. But I'll show you working. So usually you have to have the laser board. So I got 3 of these in, and all 3 of these work. But there's buts to this. First one. This one is from the DOL-001. Soldered. And it's a dreaded B board. But this works. This is a -1, and then somewhere I have one more, which is an A, which is dreaded A too. So there's 4 different laser boards. A, dreaded A or B. Even -1 now is dreaded too. If you can get a -2, that's your best shot at it. But at some point, all these are going to fail. Laser boards, that is. So those work. So usually you have to have a board connected to the thing, and I'll get an error, but we can just throw it on there. We're just testing these things. It's just something simple. I need power though, which is over here. Alright, so let's get a little production line going here. I'm just relisting parts for Cube. I may invest in some more stuff with cubes, we'll see. I just need a button. So of course there's 2 different buttons. Everyone wants the green one with not this one. And you gotta make sure when you do this that you don't put it in backwards. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So let's get some video action here. So it's got to go on. God, I gotta remember now myself. Goes on this way. It'll fit this way. Wait a minute. No, it goes this way. It will fit this way, but you'll blow the board. It goes on this way. Power on, power off. Video. So I listed a couple motherboards. I'm doing some of the power. I didn't really have any more power adapters listed, so. And there you go. See, it works. I'm just doing quick tests, so. So we'll just, again, we'll make a little production line going on here. It's hard to show you both, but you get the gist. We're just testing these, so that's one done. I'm just selling them by the board each, separate. See if any of these don't work. I've sold, again, I've had over 1,300 cubes, so anything, power boards, motherboards, all that stuff I've sold over the years. So that works. I can hear the sound. I know we're good. So that one's good. Of course, the DOL-001 has the power board on the motherboard. They all do the same thing. Just one seems to be more reliable than the other. But sometimes these fail too. So that one's fine. Turn it up a little bit. You can at least hear you'll hear when it turns on. Now you can hear it. So we know that one works. Again, we're just doing all these. See if we have one that don't work. I know these ones work because I just pulled them from these cubes. So I got 3 cubes in the other day, and I had good luck with them. They're all red, just need a little adjustment. Someone left me a comment on my YouTube saying, do not adjust this. And you always adjust that. Because the problem is, he said, oh, you got to change the cap. So yeah, well, most of us don't have that knowledge or experience to change caps. So you want to adjust this, because at the end of the day, all these laser boards eventually are going to fail. So you might as well ride it and see if you can get it to work. Temporary fix probably, but you always want to try to fix it. No measure, nothing, just turn and test, turn and test. So you always use that. Of these 1,300 that I've had over the years, I've saved so many laser boards by quick test, by quick turn. Hundreds and hundreds. So this worked. Everyone's a professional. I'm not a professional or anything. I'm just a novice at best. But I can tell you what works all the time. Pretty much. These ones I worry about, these ones. Not a fan of these ones. Let's see if we get lucky. Yep, that one's good. I think these were all tested working, but we'll see. Just relisted, and I'm working on, next thing I'm going to list today is spindles and disc door switches. None of that stuff I've had in quite some time. I may get some more, we'll see. See how it goes. Go back to my roots. So I started out all GameCube in the beginning, 10 years ago. But then I ventured to everything else after. But GameCube's still #1 seller. Of course, everything is going through the roof parts-wise, but nothing I can do about that. That one works. I tested all my ports work, so I have 3 ports to list. 3 spindles, 3 game switches. So that worked. We're on a roll here. Over there, I think I have 2 Japan boards. I'm going to check in a minute on those. Still have a couple of those around. Once in a while it could be the cable, but the odds are very slim that's the cable. Again, these will, if there's an issue, either they just don't work at all, no power at all, or they give you weird power. Meaning no sound or no video. Usually no sound. The light won't come on here, the fan doesn't spin. Or the fan does spin, I think. That one's fine. Okay, so I think all these work. Yeah, I went way. That one's kind of. I guess it's alright. I went after every system ever made over the years, so I went way off track. But now we're going to probably come back to GameCube for a little while. We'll see. It's real expensive now, though. The days of buying GameCubes in the bulk lots, cheap is really gone. Even just 3 of the ones I purchased, really expensive. But luckily, I think I'm alright with the. For me, it's trying to make your money back over time, which is key, over time. And then at some point, the rest is what they call gravy. But the odds, it takes a long time to get there. For the way I do it, it takes forever. So that one worked too. So all these work. This gets pretty hot, pretty fast. I can't leave that on that long. So that's US here. That one's listed, this board here. This is a 11 board. I've got an 11 and a 10 board. Let's see what this is. These two, I think, are Japan ones. Alright, so this is the DOL-001. The power board is right here. Therefore, if there is a power board issue, which still, this is just this, right? This is just this, or vice versa. So if these have problems, this being on here is going to have a problem. Remember, I said these are the most common, but also the most with the problem. Hence the same with these, right? So all those are good. So let's check this one out. I believe this is Japan. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. There's a little piece of meat right there. See it? That piece of meat, you got to get that to push in there. If you lose that piece of meat right there, it doesn't go in right. They're not meant to be taken in and out like this, so they fray pretty easily. That's my other problem. So you gotta have that nice piece there. And this power board is right here. It's the same cable, it's just longer. It's the shorter cable that's on this usually. Let's see what this one is. So now we went from here to power to board. Of course, the technology gets better. In the beginning generation of the GameCube towards the end, things get smaller, and then they end up on a board like that. Doesn't work, huh? So this is negative. This one doesn't work. Let's see if I get anything. It's off. No signal. I don't know what causes it, but this one doesn't work. I thought these worked, but I guess not. Oh well. So that's a negative on that. I'll get rid of that then. And this one was, I think it's up to a 60 board on these. 50. But that's negative on that. Let's try this one. Now we need to put the front port on. Maybe both of these don't work. No, this one doesn't work either. It doesn't work either. These are the only ones I had. Alright, so that means, yeah, these are no good. Well, they're good, but someone had to fix them. So again, it could be the power right here, or it could be, I'm sure it's something else. So a little quick test, and those are the two different types of boards.